Are you currently in a good spot right now with your life, with your business, career, your family, your relationships, so on and so forth? If you are, then you probably have some stuff that are going very well. Most of them are good, and then there's some stuff that you wish you could make better. And you're probably thinking right now, yeah, probably. So, we're going to talk about how to invest our time, energy, and money into the decisions we make so we can start moving in the right direction with more of the things that are going good or meh to awesome. Roll it. Welcome back to another video. My name is Nikos Rentas, and this is mentorsapproach.com, where we strive to make a video each and every week to get you thinking and moving in the right direction. So hit subscribe. Today, we're talking about this idea of being in a good place. Your life is going well, everything's moving forward, and you're, of course, naturally, human nature, you want to make it even better. This is normal. And right now, we are also going through this pandemic. We're going through a lot of chaos in the world, the economy not so going well, and you're sitting there going, okay, what can I do to make things better for myself? Most people will be looking at themselves and saying, how can I move forward in the state we're in, and how can I get better? And it's really a lot of those emotions go through of, the positive negativity of making certain decisions. Making these decisions can be made easier if we can take emotion out and really focus on the logic. In order to do this, well, what do? We look at time, energy, and money, and we ask ourselves, how do we invest it so there's a return of investment? Now, if you look at the last video, which I'll link above here, it's all about understanding the value that comes with making any kind of investment of time, energy, and money. We need to understand our value. What is our value with those three things? And then we'll be able to really understand how we are investing our time in the things that are going well, and then look at all the things that aren't going so well and understand how much time we're investing in those. The energy plays the same role. How are we investing our energy in both? And then, of course, how are we investing our money? This is critical. All three play a role because they all relate to each other. And let's really look at this from a perspective of how to be successful in the decision making. Well, if I have understood where my value sits on these three things, it'll be easier to understand where things are going well, where things are going okay, and where things are going not so good, and which ones to start working on right away. Clearly, we're going to make lists, and this is your first step. You're going to make a list of all the things that are going well, and then you're going to analyze them and ask yourself, how much time am I spending? What's the energy I'm putting into it? And then, of course, what's the investment I'm going into it? And how are the returns coming back? And how do those relate to those things that are going good? Because there's a relation between all the different things that you do. And you look at all the things that are going good that you want to make better, and then you again make another list that is all about those things that aren't going so well. So you could be, in this awesome career and some business or what have you, and all that area of your life is going good, but your relationships aren't going that well, right? So we look at this idea and we say to ourselves, how do they relate? We make these lists, we look at the relationship between them, and we ask ourselves, how much time, energy, money are we spending on them? Okay. And then we look at them and they say, what are we actually doing as investing? So, how much time, energy, money are we investing in them? There might be some stuff that you're spending that's making you feel good, okay, but you're just spending, you're wasting it. And those are in the good and well place, and it might not be needed. And you have to ask yourself, is this still an investment for me? Am I getting a return the way I used to? Because we're doing self analysis here, we're doing check ins here. We're asking ourselves, how does this relate to the other things that I want to make better? And those things might not be needed anymore. Things change. What and who you were before may have changed over time. An example for me, I know my value system has changed quite significantly with certain things. And this pandemic taught me a lot and taught me that I miss traveling. I miss it. And I'm moving everything online. I've been working so hard to build a studio and to do a lot of work in there. But like the goal is to move everything online so that when this pandemic finally ends, I'm just working online and I'm traveling. I'm out. I'm going the distance for a very long trip where it's going to turn into just kind of like, you know, go live in different places where I'm going to just experience the travel and be able to work online and come back. So the idea is certain things that I was doing that were going well for me. It was more of a, you know, spending the time, spending the energy, spending the money where I didn't need to. So I've cut back on a lot of the things. At the same time, I've increased the investment in certain things that I found value for. And this is what we're going to be doing. And we're going to go through these lists and we're going to ask ourselves in that good column, or the okay column, where can we do to move things into the everything's going well column? And we're going to look at them as they relate to the well column. And we're going to ask ourselves, what are we doing and how are we investing our time, energy, and money in these different things? And how can I now move the time, energy, money without disturbing what is going well? And maybe it means that I have to spend, okay, a little bit extra thought process, okay, and really look at how the invest will happen to make those things going well more efficient. And then move that time, energy, money to invest it into more of this idea of how, okay, I can make these things that are going good better. Our focus will be on these things. Now, a lot of people will look at the negative side of things and always focus on the negative. And this negative list, we're not going to really touch all of those things. We're going to only pick one or two things and we're going to look at them and go, how do these relate to everything else? And I'm going to work only on one at a time or two at a time, whatever you fancy. And you're going to move them over slowly. Okay. The goal is to eventually tackle the whole list over time. So you're going to pace yourself on that. But as you move one and the next, what you'll notice is all those other things on that ugly list, on that things aren't going well there, that list, the value you place on it will decrease substantially once you start tackling a few of those every time. And what will eventually happen is that some of those things will disappear. You won't even think about them. An example of this is if in relationships, there's a whole bunch of stuff happening, turmoil in relationships, and this has happened to me where I was just kind of like, why am I spending my time there? Why am I not investing my time in the people that care about me? And automatically, all the emotions. Okay, one day I woke up and I was like, what am I doing? And I just kind of focused on the people I wanted to focus on, and then all of a sudden, I didn't care about I didn't care about the drama of everybody else. I stopped. I stopped caring. I had priorities. My time, energy, and money, that value to not correlate with what's happening there. So I stopped. And then the lack of response made me realize that they didn't care anyway. So who cares? Everybody's happy until they realize it. But this is where we're at. So let's look at this and move everything slowly. What will happen is after you start to see your value in all the different things and some of the stuff falls off the list, you'll be able to really super focus on the things that matter again. And then you will return back to those other two lists, the going well and the good list. And you're going to say to yourself, are there things that need to be kicked off this list that I'm doing that I don't need? And this is how you're going to move forward in that right direction. And every decision you're going to be making, guess what? You'll see that it's taking you in the direction you want to go, while at the same time you're not regretting things as much, and the risk factor on things that you're doing is decreased drastically. Pandemic or not, crazy economy or not, stock market or not, you name it or not. That's it. The example I'm going to use here is this idea of a couple that have a business and the husband runs the business, does all that. And the wife went back to work a couple years ago and she has an awesome career, six figures, very successful. But she is miserable. And the pandemic made her realize that. And although they have everything awesome, before pandemic, everything was great. Now there's this tense, I'm not, I'm not in that well spot. I'm in this good spot. And I mean, a lot of things are going good, but some stuff aren't. And the reality is that she's not happy with her career. And she's basing this negative value on this career aspect. There's no danger to her job. There's no danger to what she's doing. There's no danger for the future whatsoever. And they have money. They're good. Their family's great. And like there's no other issues, but it's her career and it's draining her. And she's taking that negative thought process and applying it to everything else. So when we had a chat and we walk through, and this, this goes over time. Okay, you sit there and we have this chat, and this individual goes, "Well, this is my problem, this career," and it's like, okay, so what do you want to do with it? Instead of wasting your time with filling yourself with negative energy, thinking about how much you hate your job, do something about it. What can we do? Where's the start? That's all. So we start focusing on where can you move forward. So you're doing, you're doing well in all these things. Keep doing them, but how much time are you investing in all those things? How much time are you wasting? And how much time are you wasting in this thing that you need to fix? Well, you're pretty much spending most of your time because you're sitting there with your head going, I hate my job, and you're going into work and you're like, I hate my job, and you come home and you're like, I hate my job. So it's almost constant, like nagging emotion that covers you. And we look at this thought and we say to ourselves, okay, what can we do? Well, she started focusing on an analysis process. Is it really the job? Is it really this job? Or is it the career? And then this is the movement forward. Let's invest time, energy, and money into this thing. So take out a block of time and focus on it while you're mitigating all the time, energy, and money you're investing in everything else. Move or shift some of these resources into this thought process of let's figure this out. And as she started figuring this out, she realized that it's not the career, it's the job. She's bored and she doesn't like it. And she doesn't feel like she's moving up, and she doesn't see the next stage of her career ever being coming to light anytime soon. So she's on this path, on this mission and purpose, and her direction is kind of like wishy washy because she doesn't know what's going to happen. So over time, what was done was to invest that time, energy, money to figure out what is it that she really wanted from a job, what company to work at, what the environment should be like, what responsibilities she wanted, what were those extras. And here's the husband going, we have everything, and she's like this negative Nelly at the beginning of this journey, to now him going, yeah, like I think she wants to go back to school and do this, this, and this, or she's gonna pull the trigger and go get this other job. And it's easier for her to actually apply now. And this is it. You know, we're looking at it and we're saying to ourselves, how do I mitigate that risk? And that risk really is an uncertainty. And it becomes risk when we put that word risk because it's a negative word that's been created to bring up fears, but it's an uncertainty. In project management world, when we do projects, uncertainty, we can put values on them. And as long as we put the values in, calculate the risk factors that exist, now it's no longer a risk, where it's more of an uncertainty that we know a percentage base point what's going to happen, and we can make a decision more confidently. And because this confidence comes up, well, now I'm not making a risky move to switch jobs during a pandemic. I've calculated everything and I know what I'm doing and I'm moving forward. And guess what? I did it all by myself. I didn't need anybody to walk me through, to mentor me, to coach me, to do this and that. I just needed the push, the guiding push and advice as I went along. And now we look at it and we say, what are coaches and consultants and all these people doing? That they serve specific tasks based on need. And maybe, just maybe, you don't need somebody who's going to walk with you with holding your hand, but rather you need somebody to coach you through those moments of how do I get clarification? This is where we're looking at it in terms of understanding what we need as our own self, our own being. It's our value based system being addressed. We're challenging it each and every day. And when we're trying to go from a place of good to a place of better, we're analyzing the whole thing and looking at it from an eagle eye view to figure it all out. And this is where you start to question more things. In this case, when I was talking with her, she looked at me and she goes, do I need coaching each week on this? Do you think I need that? And I was like, no, I think you need to go do something. Come back later. Coaching will continue later when you want to get coached in something. But right now, you don't even know what you want to get coached in. She didn't need that. What she needed was, hey, go do. She needed somebody to tell her, hey, go do. So you can figure this stuff out. So if you're stuck in a situation like that, or any similar situation, or a situation where this can apply, this example specifically, then move on it. Start doing your homework. Take responsibility of your life. Take responsibility of your moments. We don't have a lot of time. Time as we get older, shrinks. We need to start investing our time, energy, money efficiently, smartly, so we can start moving in the right direction. So up here, you're going to see the next video on being an okay spot and how to get to a better spot, where this one will be all about the I'm in a bad place, ugly spot. How do I jumpstart this thing? My name is Nikos Rentas. This is mentorsapproach.com. Hit that like button. Of course, hit subscribe and leave a comment below, because who knows? Somebody might be watching this. They might read your comment. They might relate. You might help save a life.